Have you ever wondered what you would do in a moment of pure chaos, when the very ground beneath your feet turns against you? Today, we're sharing a story that's not about grand heroics, but about the quiet, unshakable courage of one person who faced the unimaginable. This is the story of a woman who watched the world shake and, instead of running, held her ground. It began like any other Tuesday. The sun was casting long shadows, people were heading home from work, and the city hummed with its usual evening rhythm. Our protagonist, let's call her Elara, was at her desk on the 15th floor of a downtown office building. She was just wrapping up a report, thinking about what to make for dinner. That's when the first tremor hit. It wasn't violent, just a gentle, almost imperceptible sway. Most people barely noticed, dismissing it as a passing truck or a gust of wind. But Elara had lived in this city her whole life. She knew that feeling. A knot of unease tightened in her stomach. A few seconds later, the gentle sway turned into a violent jolt. The building groaned. Pens rolled off desks, picture frames clattered to the floor, and a collective gasp filled the office. Panic ignited. People screamed, scrambling for the exits, pushing past each other in a desperate rush for the stairwell. It was pure survival instinct, a chaotic exodus fueled by fear. But Elara didn't move. Not at first. She gripped the sides of her desk, her knuckles white as the building swayed like a tree in a hurricane. She could hear the terrifying symphony of a city in distress, the screech of twisting metal, the shattering of countless windows, and the distant, rising wail of sirens. Through the window, she saw the impossible, the street below rippling like water. The ground itself was alive, and it was angry. In that moment, amidst the noise and the terror, something inside her shifted. The initial shock gave way to a strange, focused calm, while her colleagues were fighting their way down the stairs. Her mind went to one person, Mr. Henderson, the elderly security guard who worked on their floor. He had a bad leg and always used a cane. There was no way he could navigate the panicked stampede on the stairs. That's when she made her choice. Instead of joining the rush to get out, she pushed herself up and moved against the current of fleeing people. "Mr. Henderson," she called out, her voice barely audible over the din. She found him near the elevators, pale and clinging to a wall for support. His cane lying useless on the violently shaking floor. He looked at her, his eyes wide, with a fear so profound it was paralyzing. She didn't waste words. She grabbed his arm, pulling it over her shoulder, and together they began the slow, arduous journey towards the emergency exit. She didn't think about the shaking. She didn't think about the danger. She thought only of the next step, and the next, and the next. She became his anchor in the storm, her calm voice a counterpoint to the terrifying sounds around them. They used the drop cover and hold-on technique under a sturdy doorway each time a major aftershock hit, waiting for the worst of the shaking to pass before moving again. It felt like an eternity, but they eventually made it to the stairwell. It was still crowded, but the initial panic had subsided into a tense, orderly procession. Elara and Mr. Henderson joined the slow descent, floor by floor. She never let go of him, supporting his weight, whispering words of encouragement. When they finally emerged into the dust-filled street, the city was unrecognizable. But they were safe. Mr. Henderson, breathless and trembling, looked at Elara, tears welling in his eyes. He couldn't speak, but his gratitude was immense. Elara just gave a small, tired smile. She wasn't a firefighter or a paramedic. She was just an office worker who, when faced with terror, chose to help someone else. This story isn't about ignoring fear, it's about what we do in spite of it. Elara was terrified, but she didn't let that fear control her. She found a purpose within the chaos. Her story is a powerful reminder that bravery isn't always a loud roar. Sometimes it's the quiet voice that says, "I can help." It's the decision to hold your ground, not just for yourself, but for someone who needs you. Thank you for listening. If this story moved you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more tales of human spirit and resilience. Stay safe and look out for one another.